guys hear me on YouTube?
In this Wall Street Journal piece, the US Commerce Secretary Lutnick discussed the South Korea increasing $350 billion pledges.
Anyone out there? Anybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you both sides, Scott.
Both sides? Okay. Alright, thank you. Alright, I'll be back in a minute.
Tesla shares are set for their biggest one-day drop in 2 months, fast down 3 spots.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial suitability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites or digital venues are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit or losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept full responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment in Wholesale Set Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers farmers without reservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any account below is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses or material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have under or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results at all, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
Alright, good morning. Absolute clown show going on right now. So, there was a Fed guy talking a little bit ago, and then the number was supposedly released 15 minutes early. Market got killed. I don't know if this is because of the Fed guy talking or the pre-release, and then the number came out. I don't know. So I got smoked on a couple of sexy gexies here on the way down. We'll go over these trades, all these trading strategies, but and then I actually got lucky here because I was doing a check for the room and I forgot to delete this order into the actual number that was supposed to come out, and it actually worked out in my favor, but I just basically got lucky. Hold on, I'm trying to get my drawing tool going here. Of course.
For those interested. Again, we did see earlier release of this data at 42 the hour, but they have just released the report now.
Anyway, it doesn't even show that the price is printed. That's how ridiculous this market is right now. But I put a order in here. Granted, this is NQ, and I'm trading the micros because I can only trade a certain percentage of the big contract. But this is day plus reversion. Yet an event. We play from these trades where it tags the ATR and comes back. They're even better when it's into a prior event, and I had that resting there. I would have deleted it in the number because I already got smushed in the number that already came out, like I said. But I got out right away. Then that's the trade, but I basically got lucky on that. But I got crushed on these sexy gexies on the way down, buying these gex levels. And then I just stopped trading until the number came out for the second time. So again, there's another Fed guy talking right now. You got to decide if you're going to trade. When these guys are talking, they basically talk about stops. So you really don't have a choice if you want to trade most days. But it is very swirly, very heavy relative volume all morning here. So you can see this is a sign the bigger money's playing. So you could see, all morning was coming in, and then this move here was the number that was released early, I'm assuming, but it is what it is. Gonna move on. I at least gained my composure. Again, I bought a couple of these gex levels on the way down. Actually, I think this was a reversion, A plus reversion. I can't remember now because I was seriously losing my mind on what is going on here. And I think I bought one. Yeah, I think I took this reversion here, and then my stop was supposed to be there, and I don't want to stop out right in the gex level, and then I held it, and then it started. So I just got out. So that's that loss there. So onward and upward on the new strategies. There was a event here in gold. I was going to take an Izzy trade here, so my philosophy, my methodology is looking for stop iceberg events in important areas. So I have many important areas that I watch for these events. So this is one of them. These are called inflection zones where important things happen. We call them short ISI for short. Anyway, we got sell ice into that zone. This is usually an aggressive trade, meaning I take the trade first move out of the zone. So this is my zone drawing tool, and these are the entries. So I've determined from watching literally probably 100,000 of these things over the last 7-8 years, the best way to enter these trades off of these events. Most of my entries are waiting for the market to show its hand and push an ATR out of the event. So the blue line is the ATR. So right now the ATR in gold is about 60, meaning it's rotating 60 ticks every 5 minutes, which is pretty heightened. So I force the market to push an ATR out to show its hand, and then I'll jump in outside of an ATR because I know the propensity for these algos to snap it back at the ATR. So that's how I demand my entry, and then for me to stop out, I force it to come all the way back, the full ATR, get through the volume event where there's trapped traders, and then another ATR to get out. So the sizing is all built into that, the risk reward. I do have newer trades now where I'll get in smack dab in the middle of the zone, and I understand the risk reward factor of entering here and exiting here, but it's the best way to help not get algoed out of trades when they're just whipsaw people all day long, so traders all day long. So I'm sure we will take some sexy gexies here, but if this comes back, I'll put on this ISI. I didn't put it on here because it was right into the number that, again, when I'm confused on what's going on, it's not, I don't like putting on trades because then I'm second guessing myself. Again, the number supposedly it was leaked, then the real number came out. I'm like, I'm just going to wait for this number to come out and then I'll put on trade. So if this comes back here, I will put on the ISI trade that I should have been in, in a normal circumstances, first move out. So that entry is at 3762.9, and I could put on 0.3. So this sizing is part of the Scott Zones drawing tool. You can put in your risk level, right? So we'll go over all this. I'll share this flip book here in a second that shows everything. Here's my training. Where you come in here, so I'm risking $500 per trade. These were the Apex accounts at first. I actually have Apex now hooked up to all my real accounts, so I have 10 live accounts at 20,000 each. So I'm still risking $500 per trade. That's only risking about 2.5% per trade on those accounts. But I have this trade copier too.
PC long retested.
This ETP trade copier. It's awesome. Where I can transfer. I can trade from my Apex to my live, and then I have a one trading strategy. I'm trading for a trading firm to my trading strategy with my account. So it's an awesome trade copier. I'll try to share the link for you guys to try it out. I think it's a discount link too. I got to check it out. But all right, we got Fed chirps right now too.
YM short retested.
All right, so I kind of got lucky on this reversion again into the number. I didn't mean to take it, but it tagged it. Doesn't even show the price trading there, and came back, and I got out. This was a bullish event, but into the number. So I'm just waiting for something new in NASDAQ, meaning I don't trade unless I get volume events, right? Stop iceberg events or stop events. And so this can, if this thing rips, 300 points, it sucks for me. I didn't do anything. I could have taken a long off of this. This was a ISI long, I believe. Let's see. But again, I wasn't. I was just confused on what the hell was going on. Was the number out? Was it not out? So I just passed. So right there, basically, right under the top of this guy, rubbing literally to the tick. Actually, that was a little lower anyway, I think. No, that was it. So this wasn't ISI long. It would have been profitable so far, but I'm just going to wait for something new here. Let these markets settle down, and hopefully this Fed clown stops chirping. All right, so this is an official retest. So actually, this was a trade I could have taken right after the number here. This was another. So we have different trades we take, right? So there's something in here for every type of trader. If you come to my trade room and you want to learn what I'm doing here, so I have all these different trading strategies. These red ones are the position trading strategies, right? We were just talking about an ISI trade, where we're looking for bigger moves. Then we have the auto fade trades, where we're jumping in right in the middle of the zone. So TikToks, when you get an event with the extreme tick reading, These don't.
S&P Iceberg sell ES 700 contracts.
I'll come back to this in a second. Let's see what we got here.
NQ stocks stock by NQ 163.
All right, these markets are all over the place right now. Sell ice right at the GEX level. So I'm going to try to trade this and see. Let me get this on micros. Again, I can only risk for my position trading 0.5 of a full contract, which is micros. So I'm going to switch it to micros. And this is what's great about this Bookmap trading on chart here. You can cross trade between products. Let me just make sure so the relative volume isn't too crazy. So I could take a sexy Gexy here, but you got to use some judgment. Sexy Gexy is when you move into these Gex levels. These are Mentor Q Gex levels, extremely powerful. And then I have the Spot Gamma Gex levels too. By the way, this is real surprising here. What's driving these markets? I've been posting this every single day in Twitter. You can see here the hero. This is the options flow. Just went from 0 to 3.5 billion. And this is exactly what's driving these markets. It's unbelievable how this is the main driver now. The 0-day to expiration game that they're playing, where they load up the dealers and the dealers have to hedge with the futures. It goes on all day, every day, especially when the markets die down. Hold on, I still might take this. So, you know, the sexy Gexy is where you're looking for an opposing volume event into these Gex levels because you know the dealers have to hedge, right? And then you get paper coming in here, the big money selling as well. I'm going to take this. This one's iffy, right? This is where you got to judge. I kind of already went through that level, but I'll give this a shot. So the other thing too is, of course, I saw the dead low tick right into the Gex level. I should have waited for it to break that Gex level, so that's probably going to leave a mark. So the way I trade these are one of the only auto entry trades that I was just talking about, where I'm jumping in smack dab in the middle of the zone, right? So I'm trading for a dealer reaction where I'll get out of half of my position, and then I'll hold half like a position trade, and then we can take position trades off this too, potentially either long or short, depending on how this confirms. This is, again, a more risky trade, aggressive trade, where I'm jumping right in the middle of the zone here. Hold on, let me get out. I'm going to get out of half of these just because I want to wait for this. If this starts to break down below this, because again, this kind of already went through the Gex level, right? Like, and I just sold right into it. So if it starts to break it down here, I'll get back in and try to get out of some there. Let me eyeball this. On the flip side, we can take reversion trades as well. So reversions this is what I was getting at when I showed you the trading strategies document. So we have position trading strategies for swing trading type of trades where you're holding for bigger moves. We have these auto entry trades. This is what I just took, sexy Gexy. Take any fade trade into a spot gamma or Mentor Q level. Trade is taken immediately when an opposing SI event fires off. In this case, market moving higher with a buy stop run. It was not buy stops, but it was sell icebergs. Be wary, this trade at Reversion is elevated. So Reversion was not elevated there. Again, I can see that on this right here. There was no, it was not elevated, so I was okay taking it. So anyway, that's what this trade is. And then we have the other strategy.
And Treasury officials back could Supreme Court job fight.
Is reversion trades, right? So these markets have an insane regularity of coming back to these zones. So it tags the 1, the 2, or the 3 ATR. That's what this is what you're seeing on this zone drawing tool, right? So we already went over some of this. This is, if I'm going long, it's the yellow line. If I'm going short, it's the yellow line, and then it's the posing for my stop out. So if I go short here, I'm getting in there and here. I'm talking position trading wise. But then we have reversion trades, and you can see the lines here. This is the 1 ATR reversion, which is just in front of the ATR. That's for a reason, because these algos love to snap the things back in front of the ATR here. So here's the 1, here's the stop for the 1, here's the 2. Stop for the 2 is the other red dashed line, and then you got the 3, and then 3 stops. So that's what you're seeing here. So like when I post these on Twitter, guys are messing with me all the time, like, oh my God, look at that chart. There's just so much stuff on it. It's not that much. Yes, it's a lot to look at, but it's not complicated, right? All these are reversion trade lines to tell you where to get in and where to get out, and then you have for the position trading stuff, and then the other stuff.
Stock by ES 500 contracts.
All right, so stop run there. At least I got out of half of these. So again, I made a judgment, tried to make a judgment call. It was already through this Gex level, right? And these aren't exact prices; they're areas, but you know, that I like to see them into them and then hold. So at least I got out of half there if I stop out of this. So be it. Now we have a new event, and we could take, you know, trades off of this. I don't really have anything for. There's no reversion off the GEX levels,
BW 150 contracts.
or there's no A plus reversion either. So no reversions right here. But now let's look at some position trades. I'm not stopped out of this yet either, by the way. The stop for this event. So the way I do this is I get in my. When I'm jumping in the middle of the zone, my stop's still up there. So if it gets up there and stops me out, then fine. If not, I'm letting it work. Stop run, see the area we're in. If there's position trade here, this is an IZZY, right? These are the best IZZYs too, as far as probabilities, where the market moves straight into these areas, right? So I will fade that if this moves out of here. And this is pretty important what happens here because, of course, they always do the sneak attack overnight. It's the only time the thing could ever drop, but we've been talking about this. We talked about this in my room yesterday. Failed balance break out of that, and then of that as well. And there was about 5,000 buy ice the other day at the close. How'd that work out for him? Anyway, this was a failed balance break out of that. We took that trade yesterday, and then of this guy as well, right? And then it just ripped right through this, and now here it is back at it. So higher probability that this hits this area and then comes off. Again, probability, I have no idea, but that's why I use the volume events. I'm not just jumping in this zone just because it's back here. If this event proves bearish, then I'll take the trade. If not, I'm not taking the trade, right? So it helps keep you out of trouble as well. So if this comes back, I will take an IZZY short, so my entry, so this is my sizing, right? Based on my $500 risk on my trades. So 0.5 of a contract, full contract, which you can't put on 0.5, but you can put on 5 micros. Even if it said 1, I don't put on one big one because then it's all or nothing when I get out. If I put on 5, if the market moves in my favor, I can get out, you know, 2 down here at the GEX level, another 2, and then hold. You see what I'm saying? So I trade micros whenever I can, instead of one full one. If it's just one or nothing, you know, all or nothing here. So I will put this on another account, 655.75. You could use a little judgment here about entering right on these GEX levels. Maybe I'll probably put it down just 2 points below there, so I'm not. And you can see all this liquidity, by the way. So you know that market's coming back there at some point because that's the big money, and they always get what they want. And I know that because it's the game I used to play. That's what all my strategies. So everything I'm showing you guys is based on my experience as a large scalper back in the day, with volume and how I would react when I was loaded up.
Iceberg by NQ 187 contracts.
See what's going on here. I still have that GEXy on. I haven't been stopped out of that GEXy. All right, we had buy stops. Now we have buy ice coming in here too. So we'll make a decision. You know, we'll look at the areas for potential trades there in NASDAQ. All right, so 55.75. This is the IZZY trade. 214. I can put on 5. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm going to put it below there because I don't want to enter it right into these GEX levels where it may bounce. So we'll go 54.25. All right, so that's the position trade. Let's see if we have any other areas to put on shorts or longs. This has not confirmed long or short yet, right? This is a pick as well. Profile, market profile composite. You see right here, it's struggling right. And these are the best picks too. Big picks and IZZYs when you get these straight elongated moves right into these areas. Here's a stop run. If that fails, I'll take a pick short as well. Right? But I'm not getting in right here. Again, this is from trial and error. I would love to enter every trade with great risk reward right in the middle of the zone. I learned the hard way. That's not, you will get chopped to pieces doing that. So that's why I forced the market to come ATR plus out of the zone to take the trade. So I'll take a pick short as well. My entry will go at 54.25 for that too. So pick and IZZY shorts working here. All right, those are working. On the long side, not a lot I can do here. If this pulls, so this is, we call it algo guys, an exponential moving average ribbon. And I may need to increase this today. Let's see. Yeah, this is. So if the ATR gets over 7, I make this bigger to a 20 tick. It's right at 7 here because the volatility is, it's heightened, right? So let's just see what this looks like here. I never changed this for years until like now all the tariff stuff. I've been adjusting this, but this is in the course too. So the reversion course, I talk about this, about how you adjust this thing based on volatility. So it's pretty volatile right now, like very volatile actually. Nasdaq's ATR is, I thought that was 56. It's 36. That's not crazy, but it's pretty heightened. The normal NQ ATR is right around between 15 and 20, 25. All right, so this could be a potential red rum too, right? So another area, just an important area. I know these red ribbons, it's the longer term that these algos love to snap it out of there, right? So if I get a volume event, which we have that stop run basically right there, if that fails, I could put on a pick short as well. So now I'm working 3 different shorts, but I haven't put anything on yet until it can break down out of here. If this confirms bullish, those are all off the table, meaning if it tags the ATR out of here, and then I look for potential longs. So those are all working. Let me put the red rum in here too. 42, then we'll go over to NASDAQ. All right, those are working, and I still have this Gexi on. It's threatening to get stopped out, but it is working. Let's see what we got with NASDAQ. So we have buy stops and then buy ice right after that. So this is kind of a delayed unicorn. This is the 6th wonder of the world. So I have 6 distinct setups, SI, stop iceberg setups. This is close to it's a step rose where you get buy stops and buy ice. You don't see it very often. But this should lead to a huge move higher. If it doesn't, then it's telling you something, right? In the meantime, I'm going to take potential reversions here first and foremost off of these GEX levels. So and I take back in black, so it's a form of a reversion trade where when it tags something important and starts coming back through the reversions, in this case it would be the 1, I take that trade and get back, and this is like more of a scalp trade. It's the best scalp that I know of. Again, I used to be one of the biggest scalpers on the planet back in the mid-2000s, and it's impossible to scalp this nowadays. Again, you want to try it and learn for yourself, you'll find out the hard way. I'm telling you, it's not a viable way to trade, especially you'll churn your account. Stop trying to trade the dome. The best way to trade is using the heat map. You can use the price change algo, we'll go over that. Market Pulse, this is incredible too, where you can time your entries. We'll go over that. But the best scalp that I know of, is the only one that I basically trade, besides I have one for the price change algo, is these reversion trades where you're in and then out at the zone. And then you're done and you're on to the next trade. Again, this is what I was getting at for those events fired off. There's something in here for every type of trader. Swing trading, position trades. Those guys, traders that have to have your R's, think that's the end all be all. It's very important, but it's like you can't, sometimes you gotta, it's not a full 2, 3, 4 to 1 on your money. So these are more R trades where you're jumping right in the middle of the zone, better risk reward, but they're not as consistent, or for lack of a word, than you have the reversion trades. All right, I got stopped out of that half of that Gexi. I'm gonna take this reversion though. I think this Fed clown's still talking. But, all right, so I'm taking this back in black. If this tags this put support that it blew through to open the day and starts coming back, I'm going to take the 1 ATR and then be out of the zone if it comes back there. ES, this event actually is bullish, or it's almost bullish.
CP1 validated.
So again, that Gexi, that's why I cut half of it. I made the decision. It already had blown through here, right? And I'm like, okay, I'll put it on. And then I put it on right in here. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just get out of half and all that. So you'll see one today. The best ones are where you get the event where it doesn't violate the Gex level, right? That kind of violated it right away. So that was my choice. I just can't pass up on shorts because I just love watching the longs get their asses handed to them. So it's one of my biases. I can also put reversions on here too. So we'll see what happens. It doesn't always have to be a GEX level. So you see these GEX levels up here. So say this market ripped up to the put support on this one, right, and tagged it. I could put on the 2, the 1, back to the zone. Doesn't always have to be a GEX level. Let's see if there's anything else up here. Again, you can take them aggressively too as the market moves into them and talk about these reversion trades. It's just not the, you got it. If you're going to do that, you have to be hyperactive on, micromanaging your whatever market you're watching, and you've got to take every single one, or it's a random trade, right? So meaning, as the market moves into this, I could just take it right away instead of waiting for it to come back. The issue is if you would say, okay, I want that more secure back in black where it tags something and comes back, that's great, but so many times it'll tag it and come back before it gets to what you wanted to do, and then the reversion's over. I look for one reversion and I'm done with it, right? So if I'm waiting for this activity to do that and it tags the 1 ATR and comes back, I'm out of luck, right? That reversion already happened and I'm done with it. So, or I missed it. So that's the give and take of deciding which one you're going to take, the aggressive or the back in black reversion trades. You can see this thing price changing and snapping back. We'll get into this too, especially as these markets die down. It's pretty incredible how that thing runs the show. These algos, these price change algos too. All right. Let's see what's going on here. So this is an official bullish event in NASDAQ. Algo guy is bullish. I'm going to increase this to, let's see. Yeah, this is, so my threshold to increase this is 40 ATR. It's almost there right now. So this ATR is too small for the volatility today. Again, I go over this in my course as well, the ATR reversion course.
CB long retested.
So I'm going to make this a 50 ticker. Let's see what this looks like. All right, so it's just starting to pull right now to the bullish side. So this is my filter for my bark and lick trades. Bark and lick are, so we've been talking about taking these trades in important areas. You see this is pulling right now, and this is another thing where these algos love to jump in when this thing crosses, when the shorter term blue crosses the red. These algos love to pile in, right? That's why we call it algo guy. I'm going to be very mad if this comes back to this zone right now. All I was looking for was a... So this is a good example too. I was looking for that. So that I'm going to be out of luck here. It's 100% going to retest this zone now. You could have said... This was iffy too though. I was thinking it bounced into the... where it ran into the red ribbon. But there was really nothing for...
NQ long retested.
There you go. That's the trade right there.
NQ iceberg by NQ. 150 for contracts.
Again, every single one works that I don't put on. Let's see. I guarantee I missed something here. Not really. So I'm alright with that. It did bounce off daily value area, so this is another important area. I don't have trades off of this, but this is just one standard deviation of VWAP. Certain days, like today, it obviously is respecting it. Pay attention if it's respecting it, because it'll keep respecting it most days. Anyway, there was nothing for me per se to put on that back in black, so this is a perfect example. I was waiting for a bounce off this put support to put this trade on. Right? I was waiting for that, and I definitely would have put that on. Too bad, so sad. It tagged the 1 right there. Your stop was way up here. Back to the zone, to the tick, by the way, like always, and you're out of the trade. But now we can do it again here, so we'll see. This one's right on, and so it's not technically a back in black. Again, back in black's waiting for it to tag something and take them coming back. I'll still take this though, so again, this would be more aggressive, obviously, because the entry is right on that. But we'll see if it gets up there. What's in 10 seconds? Oh, natural gas is coming out. What I can do here is put on a bark and lick. So this is what I was getting at. So a bark is where because I want to take advantage of these stop iceberg events no matter where they're at, right? So the bark is called a blind. B is for blind. A is for ATR. R for retest. C is for confirm. So you got the event. There's your ATR. Here's your retest. And then if it comes back out of here, I could put on the bark long off of this event. And then I can do it again and say that does it. ATR, bark, blind, ATR, retest, confirm. I could have 2 on. So you can see, like on a trending day, you could have multiple trades on. and all you're doing is trailing to the most recent event, right? So if I put this comes back, I'll put this on, right? And then I'll trigger my stop to that most recent event because the original stop was down here, right there. If I were to get along there, now I can trail it, so that's going to save me 25 points at least. And then if it does it again, I can put a brand new trade on off of this guy at that stop. So you can see on a day it's trending, you can keep putting him on. You're just trailing your stop to the most recent event. So this is the position trade bark. Right here, blind ATR retest confirm. Take any trade with an SI volume event that has an ATR retest confirmed. So obviously this is, these are very active. You get them all the time because it's not in a specific area. You're just looking for an SI event. And then for the pattern, and algo guy's got to be in the direction of that. So if that comes back up here, I will enter at 41.50. Bark lick long. Oh, by the way, all my shorts, well, actually, that didn't confirm to the long side yet, did it? No. So remember, I'm working shorts off of this guy. So this still has not confirmed as a bullish event, so I'll still take those shorts, right? If it tags the ATR, then I cancel my shorts. That's how I've determined from watching literally tens of thousands, right? So again, and I've learned, this is me. So the reason you should be listening to me is so you don't have to go through 8 years of trading these to figure out the best method to trade them, these events, right? You're more than welcome to trade them any way you want, but I'm telling you, you're going to be, pretty much come to the same conclusion after 400,000 of these over the next 8 years. You'll say, damn, I should have just listened to Scott in the first place. That's the best way to trade these. So anyway, you can trade these however you want. I'm just telling you, I've watched these for 8 years, and it's the best way to trade them. Meaning waiting for, confirming bullish or bearish, and then if it does confirm bullish, I don't take any shorts. If it confirms bearish, I don't take any longs, so on and so forth. So this still is not confirmed either way. And actually, I could have taken a Gexi here too. This was a Gexi. You had buys. This Fed clown still talking, by the way. I should have put on. It's got a little bit above there, but I could have put on again here. I'm going to put this on right now. We'll try it again. Why not? I'm just going to put on half size. So this sizing is based on if I enter shorts down here, right? So I'm obviously entering a way better price, so I can increase this. But I'm just going to put on half right now because I wanted to get in closer to this. And again, this went a little bit through this Gex level as well. So this is a variations XD. The best ones are where they come into them and you get the stop run right on it, or sell ice in this case, and you jump in right on it. It pushed a little through. Remember, I got burned on this one because it pushed a little through. So, I'll put on half size here because again, I can't pass up on shorts. But I should have been eyeballing this when I got stopped out of the first Gexi. And this is called being consistent too, right? You don't skip trades. So I lost on that Gexi. Well, here's another one. I should have put that right back on when it got back and it was kind of struggling here. I missed it, but this is the point of like random trading, right? So it's like you don't just say, oh, that one lost, I'm not putting on the next one. No, if you have an edge of probabilities, you just keep putting the trade on. So I should have already had that on, but I should have had it on at a better price. So I may put on the full size here if it pops up here. Let's see if it struggles though. Let's get some tick strike here. And you can use Market Pulse here to judge too. This is the price change. I'll go over that. This thing is incredibly accurate too as far as timing your trades. When nothing's going on, when the big money's in here, I think a price change for a lot of points. I'm just going to give this a second and see if we could. The other thing I need to be watching is Hero. This is running the show, so let's see, especially on flow alerts. We'll get into this too, but this is why this market just ripped. 100%. This is what's driving the markets every day. It's getting bigger and bigger. The zero date to expiration game is running the show. Because think about it. All they do is load up the dealers with options, and the dealers have to hedge. So it's not a question whether they're hedging, right? Or whether they're going to hedge. They have to hedge to be delta neutral, so then they come in the futures. So that's just the newest game in town where they load up the dealers and they push them, and then the dealers do the bidding for them, the work for them, right? So this did pull back. So this is interesting too. This pull back. So Brentford Spot Gamma talks about 1 billion being significant, right? We've been seeing some huge moves in this last week, but this move from almost 5 billion down to 3.5. So, but this is interesting that the market didn't do much on this, right? So he actually refers to me because I pointed out this phenomenon to him when this thing pulls back significantly, notional wise, and the market does nothing. It's telling you somebody's absorbing because the dealers are hedging, right? They're in the futures selling now. The market did nothing. So what do you think is going to happen when this hero turns back up? It's going to rip off the page. So, you know, it doesn't happen every time, but it happens most of the time. So I'm just going to leave a half size on here again because this is probably going to rip off the page. So I hope I'm wrong, and I hope this thing gets absolutely killed, and I will enter shorts. But that hero movement is not, so far, is not looking like it's going to break. We'll see. So I'm still following my rules here. I just, you know, I put on the Gexy. It's already ripped through here anyway, right? So I got Gexy on, and I'm working pick and Izzy shorts. We already went over that. So I'm sick of looking at this market. So let's check something else out here. We don't know. This buy ice came in. So again, I'll put on bark and lick if this moves back out of here. But we have a new event. Now, you know, if this turns bearish, then that trade's off the table. I haven't put it on yet. And then we look for a bearish trade. Let's see where we got. Let's see what area we're in here. If you got questions, throw them in YouTube channel, because that's what I see most consistently. So we got nothing in market profile, where it's just sitting right here. We got nothing at the Ludwig levels, where it's just sitting around the yellow. Yellow is like the mean, or like the VWAP of the Ludwig levels. We call them lugs for short. I look for trades at the main ones, the red and the blue, to fade, right? Those are slugs and I lug U's, but we're nowhere near there. So my point is there's really nothing to short up here except for a probable Izzy. Let's see, we're still in Izzy land. Did I fill in this trade? I thought I meant to put this trade on. Did I forget to put this trade on? Yeah. All right, so I didn't do anything. Gold's just chopping around here, so I should have put it on. It did move up a little bit, but it's just chopping around here, so we'll come back to that. I'm not really in the mood for gold right now anyway. After the fake number, or the number was released early. Let's see, I lost my chart, as usual. All right. So this is still an Izzy, right? So if this buy ice fails, it's called a broken ice event, one of my 6 distinct SI setups. But this is, we were going to take that original Izzy out that stop run and never prove bearish, so I never put it on. But now, if this proves bearish, I'm going to put an Izzy short on. This guy right here. Right? If it proves bearish, I didn't do anything yet. I know it's in my area, but I need to see this confirm short. If not, putting on bark and lick here off of this dude. That entry is 641.75. You can see it down there in the bottom left, and you can see it over here too. These numbers are, let's see, which one is it? Long, aggressive. Oh no, you know why? Because it's going back to this zone. It's going to the most recent. That's if I take a bark long off of this zone. But you can just hover over this prior one. See how it cut off? It cut off when the new event was drawn. But that's basically 41.75 or 40, yeah, 41.75. So I'll put on that. Pains me because I want to see these markets get smoked, but that's the rule. And then I could put on 0.2 of a contract, risking $500. Now it's 0.3 now. So this moves dynamically with the volatility, right? 0.3. So that's entering here and exiting. I could probably put on a little more because again I'm trailing my stop to this most recent event, so I could probably put on 4 here. So again, 41.75. Feels like a lot of breath holding in the markets right now. especially after everything that was going on here. The number released 15 minutes early. At least they told us. Most days, guys have the numbers and you just get run over. You have no idea why. You just get run over. All right, so we got an Izzy short working. If this moves lower, actually I didn't put that in yet. That's at 65.50. Izzy short. That's still 0.3. And then we got, if this turns out to be come back up here, then I'm going to put on that Barclick long, right? Again, the Barclick long is ATR retest to the tick. I'll take the long there. If this turns out to be a bearish event, then I'm going to take the Izzy short, and that's where I'm entering that one. And then my stop's going to go up there, and it's all based on the sizing's already in here. So this zone drawing tool helps correct so many trader errors, right? As far as, say you have an opinion on, whether you're using my strategies or your own strategies or whatever, you have an opinion and you're waiting for a volume event. Well, this tells you the best entry to get in. Most traders don't know, okay, I want to be short, but where do I get in? Do I just jump in right here? So on and so forth. Once I am short, where do I get out? So this tells you exactly, based on my rules, again, that you're taking my word for it, the best entry and exit prices. Then this is the biggest error that traders make. They overtrade their account. So this is telling you if I do get in a short here, I'm risking up to there. I can only put on 0.3, risking $500. Most traders overtrade and then they blow out their account on a bad day. And today is a very easy day, especially at the beginning of the day, to get smoked. So if you don't respect your limits, you're going to get killed. It's 100%. All right, let's see if you guys got questions. Let me post this. I'm going to post this flip book in here. This guy here goes over everything I use in my trading. We'll go over this one by one a little bit, but I'll post this in the YouTube channel.
Buy NQ on entered.
Alright,
NQ iceberg by NQ. 155.
I just filled on that bark long in an NQ, and now another event just came in, so that's good as far as trailing stops, because that's the only way.
Iceberg by GC. 150 contract.
Something in gold here too. That's how I trail my stops. So remember, I went long this dude, right? ATR retest confirm is where I just got filled on. I'm sorry, wrong one. This one. ATR retest confirm. My stop was trailed to that guy. Now we have another buy ice event. I could trail it to that. So now my risk has been my original stop. If none of these other events came in, was all the way down here at basically 540, 540. Now I moved it up to this guy. Now we have another one. Now it's 590. So I just saved myself, if this does come back, I just saved myself 50 points of risk. Right, so that's going in, 590. And, well, this hasn't confirmed bear bullish yet. So I still am working a pick here too, if this moves lower. If this guy turns bullish, aka hit the ATR, then that trade's canceled, but that's still in play. But I am long bark off of this guy, bark and leg. 590. All right, that stops in. Now we have another event. Now we just do the same process over again. We have potential reversion trades, which is more of a scalp. First and foremost, what area are we in? We're still close to that Izzy. I think we're just on the edge of it. So I'd still take this Izzy short off of this newest event, right? We're right here on the edge of it. If that fails, I'll take that Izzy short. So I'm not going to take two of them. Remember, I was working one off of this, and now I'm just going to take that. So if this long fails, right, I'm long that guy, trail my stop to that, I'll be out of my long, and then I'll be into an Izzy short. Right. The other issue here is I'll be entering this right in the middle of this prior activity. I try my best to get it out of there, and that goes for my stop too. But you got to make a decision here. Are you willing to risk, almost 40 points, 30, 40 points more to get out of this activity? I'm not, so I'll just stop out right there. You got to bite the bullet sometimes. Most times, you're okay. It's that you don't have this many events, meaning it's like you have an event and you're long and you're stopped, then you get another event and the stop's like in it and you can move it just outside of it. Well, this one, I got to move it all the way down here to get out of these prior events. So I'll just bite the bullet. If this comes out, I'll just stop it here and I'll enter the Izzy short. Now, and this changes dynamically, right? So
CW short retested.
92.50 now. Because it changes with the ATR. All right, so that's working. As far as reversions, it's not an A plus per my rules. So we already talked about the ridiculous propensity for these markets to tag the ATR, the 1, the 2, and the 3, and come back to the zone, right? Or even better when you have a prior event, because traders that are, for instance, like traders that are short in this event, they want the hell out when it comes back, and that helps push it back to the zone as well, on top of the algos that do it. This entry is outside of that prior event, so I can't take that A plus. I mean, you could skirt the rules and say, well, there's an event there, I'm willing to take this trade, but that is skirting the rules. So, because it's supposed to be just be the prior event that you're taking that trade off of. So the A plus is not really in play here. As far as reversions, there's really nothing here for back and blacks unless it ripped down to this Gex one or these spot gamma lows. So we'll keep an eye on it. Let's see if you guys got questions. Said Pulcini, put some respect on his name. Man who saved my trading career. Thank you, Said. I don't know who you are, but I'm glad I saved your trading career. Saved my own, actually. Bookmap team, is it possible to turn the volume up? There should be at max. More than max. Let's see. I forgot how to do this. Don't want to do that. Yeah, it's at 200%. Dan, if I'm going to screw this up, let me know. I don't want to mess this up, guys. So I don't see anyone else complaining. They can't hear me. So sorry about that. All right. Let's see. Is Apex the best internet prop firm? Yeah, it's the one that I've used for the last going on 4 years, right? So that's part of this flip book too, right? So we go here, everything that I use in my trading, we'll go through this. Apex, so if you go in there, use it for whatever sale they got going on, use Pulcini 50, that's my affiliate code. That's the thank you for teaching you the most powerful edge in the history of futures markets, in my opinion. But yeah, Apex, I've used them for going on 4 years now. Multiple people have used them in my room and been paying. All right, so I'm still short this Gexy. Again, remember what I said about this hero? How it was absorbing whenever you saw that notional move lower and the market did nothing. That's the yellow line. Let me clear this up a little bit, right? So this is everything combined. So this thing moved notionally. Again, this is running the show. It's almost 100% of the trade lately besides the algos. This did nothing. So what's going to happen when this turns up? There you go. This thing's going to rip off the page now. So that's why I didn't put on that other half of the Gexy. So if it stops me out, I'm fine. And I am long NASDAQ right now, the bark trade. So now we have other things brewing too. So if this tags, which it just did, so this confirmed as a bullish event now. If we get one of these, I could put on another bark and lick. And then if we get one of these, I can put on another bark and lick. So potentially, again, on a trending day, you can have multiple trades on it. You're just trailing your most recent event. So if this comes back to this guy, that's that line there, and does that, I'll put on another bark and lick. Bark and lick are the same exact trade, right? The lick is I have them separated here, bark and lick. It's the same trade, but the lick you're supposed to be holding until it gets to the major resting liquidity, right? So basically, yes, this is heavy resting liquidity right here, but it's kind of just coming in now. I want to see bands that have been sitting in here for a while. So if I put on the bark and if I just put on the lick, I would hold it until it got to there, right? Speaking of which, the other thing we need to be looking at, which I completely forgot about, and we have a new trade for this too. It's called Seek and Destroy from Brentford Spot Gamma. I'm going to post this video. This is a great video too. Well, first let's look at it. I want to see what this looks like. And we'll read his founder notes too. I haven't had a chance. This is all stuff I need to be doing pre-market. I just had everything going going down. His
NQ ice iceberg by NQ.
more buy ice.
161 contracts.
His commentary is invaluable, especially when he uses certain terms. This does not look right. Let's see.
CP long retested. Prior NQ long retested.
Hold on, let me see what's going on here in NQ. So you got more bias here too. I would just combine these. You know, they didn't really, you got to use some judgment in here. I don't usually combine them if they're minutes apart. Right? You had 374 here. That was at 9:42 Central. Now, 8 minutes later, I mean, they're right on top of each other. So this is likely the same house as well, right? It's the same area. So it's another great thing about the zone drawing tool. You can draw these manually, or say it's not picking, like say it's a, sometimes you'll get a, so it's drawing off this stuff, right? So say sometimes, and I have it set for a minute, so it draws, my settings are for a minute. Well, the minute marker cuts off, and then it could still be coming in. Well, that's not indicative of what's really happening. It's really one, but it cuts off. So sometimes it's not threshold and it won't draw. You can draw manually then, right? So then you come in here and you hit the F1 key, hold it down. Maybe. Yeah, right there, right? And then you can draw your own zone and then delete it. So I'll go over this when I go over the flipbook stuff. All right, well, let's see. I'll still take these. I'll stop out of my long down here and I'm going to take it Izzy short. The new price is 82, right? So if this fails, I'm going to take that short, and I'll be out of my long that I took from over here. Market does not know what it wants to do here either, so he had the shit show to start the day, pardon my language, with the number being released early. Now it's now it's like guys are just holding their breath. I did have this at 90, didn't I?
CP long
Okay, this changed because I combined those two zones. So 82.75 now. Not been an easy day to trade yet so far. Yesterday was a layup. Today is difficult. All right. Alright, those are trailed. So I'm taking the Izzy short and I'll step out of my bark long. So what I was getting at here, this happened to the tick yesterday, right? So you want to pay attention to these gamma levels, right? This is spot gamma. Here, let me post this so I don't forget it. I'll post the YouTube channel. Watch that video. Extremely informative. We actually have a new trade off of that, right? So I'll show you yesterday how it happened exactly, right? So you want to find GEX levels that have the 90, 99, 98, 99 percentile, right? So right now this is only 78 percentile. This is 94. This is, and these levels are still important, but you see the stuff's coming off.
Voice use disconnected.
So when you usually, so I just use yesterday as an example here because it's easier to understand. So yesterday, it was there, and this is right around, by the way, 10 o'clock. This is when it happens the most, right? When stuff starts to die down. Big money goes to lunch. That's when they start playing their games, loading up the dealers.
Composite index forecast 1 spot 5 prior 1.
What a weird time for a number. Anyway, it's right around 10 o'clock. Look at my post for the last month. It's almost every day. So anyway, the hero starts to turn over. There was a volume event in NASDAQ here. I'll show it too. And you could, but I missed it because of the my rhythmic data went down yesterday. But regardless, this is the game, right? So you can see this thing move from almost 2 billion all the way down to 3 billion. That's almost 5 billion notional. That's right here. This is the hero line on this view. This is the trace in spot gamma, right? This is the hero in spot gamma. And lo and behold, these are the 299 percentile. It literally came down here to the exact tick and tagged it. And this was a huge trade. So this is exactly what it looked like. The minute that started turning over, and we have a trade for it. Again, it's happening without volume events every day, right around 10, 10, 15, 10, 30 central. Whatever way the hero is going, it turns around and goes the other way, and then the market just gets absolutely destroyed, or rips. This one was a NASDAQ. You could have jumped in. It was either this one or this one, but look at this move here on the 5 billion, right? And it went right down to that ES level, which was this. There was nothing in ES to take that trade, initiate it, but the point is, so right at the time, you see my losing my rhythmic data, by the way, too. This screwed up I missed this trade. I was short, but I was not short to seek and destroy. I was, my mouth was watering to take that trade because I just put it in the trading strategies and then I missed it. Regardless, this is showing you, look at this move. This is 30 points, and this is basically the exact tick of that strike, those strike prices. So important. I even had a guy in my trade room yesterday, like, I can't afford spot gamma right now. Well, guys, then you can't afford all the information. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but I never even used this stuff up until a couple years ago, and now it's like the most dominant thing out there. So you have to understand this stuff. So between the trace, the hero for spot gamma, right, and then Menther Q levels, which are even more incredible because he's got them for all these other products, right, like gold and crude, so you can know why these markets are bouncing and heading to the areas that they do, right? So you can see this is just right around this age. This is crude. Gold. Speaking of which, I need to be long here in gold. So I'm going to take this Izzy long this time around in gold. We had buy ice here. Here's my entry. 64.50. So this is what I was showing earlier. It came back down here again. This time it's buy ice, right? So 2 different times now. And these are my pre-market zones. You can see how well that bounced, and now we got buy ice this time. So
GC long validated.
there you go. What I'm going to do here is try to time this. So you see this price change algo. We'll get into this. This thing's incredible too. Where I don't want to, the best I can. So you can just wait for the whole thing for it to bounce back. What I've been doing lately is getting in half my position, so in case it does price change, because when the big money comes in, this thing can price change for 200 ticks, right? Most of the time, the algos, once they pick up the price change, they rip it the other way. You can time your entry. So this hasn't officially filled yet anyway, but I've been catching some way better risk reward where I'm not jumping in right when this, because you guys have heard me lose my mind over the last months, where I keep getting filled to the exact tick and then does this. Well, this is a very, very big part of the reason. You can see here, every time this thing, it has some kind of bounce. Price change, price change, price change, price change. How much it bounces, it varies. But the point is, if you can avoid entering on a price change, then you can, so say that did pop up right here where I was supposed to get long, which I'll still get long. It's price changing. I wait a second, I let it do one of these, and I can even wait for a price change the other way, then I get in down here versus up here. I've already been in the trade, right? So again, you're going to risk missing some trades. I did one of the very first times I tried this a few weeks ago. It was with a slug trade. It was a stop event into the Ludwig levels, and it was just like this. It was a NASDAQ, and I was watching the price change. Like, I'm going to wait, and I waited, and it just kept price changing for about 200 points because the big money was coming in there, right? But most of the time, I'd say 85% or more of the time, every time this thing pops, it goes the other way. So my new method is I'll put on half just in case it keeps going, and then I'm not completely pissed off. And then when it pulls back, I'll put on the other half. See what I'm saying? So we'll try to, and then the way you can do this too, instead of eyeballing it, you can turn on the sound. So we'll turn this on. It gets really, really annoying, even more annoying than tick strike. So I'll know if this is price changing now, and we'll keep an eye on it. So I'll come back here to put on a long in gold potentially. All right, what is going on with these equities? It's like it's all over the place, and then it just sits and does absolutely nothing. So anyway, keep an eye on this. So watch that video. He talks about this, and you can hear the exasperation in his voice too. I've been bitching about it every day too. It's like every single day, whatever way they decide to load up these options dealer, the market's just rip in that direction. It's unbelievable. unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. And they just run the show. Again, a lot of times you're not going to, it's like, you'll get that, you'll know why you got run over, but it's like it's too late, right? So they do have the hero alerts. We do have the flow alert trade. That's called Flowbee. That's this one. But the point is, I want to know preemptively, and they claim I want to know before the thing moves 5 billion so I can get out of the way or join it. There's really no way to do that without except for a hero alert, but it's not always a hero alert, right? So anyway, that's the Flowbee trade here. Take any trade after a spot gamma flow alert when the corresponding SI event triggers. Heroes moving lower, flow alert with buy ice or sell stops. Hero moving higher, flow alert with sell ice or buy stops. Trade is taking the instant, so this is one of my instant entries where I'll jump in right smack dab in the middle of the zone. Anyway, so important, guys. I know, trust me, I'm the king of trying to, especially as I went from millionaire to bust, trying to cut costs. So I use crappy think or swim, right? Because it's basically free. You put money in there and then you can pull the money out and you have access to the charting. So I've been using this for years because I don't want to pay for things that I don't have to pay for, right? Even if they're a little crappier than other methods. But things like spot gamma, Menther Q, and a stop iceberg indicator, you have to have this stuff or you just don't have all the information. I don't care if you're a profitable trader or not. You'll be 10 times more profitable if you understand what the hell's going on in here, right? So again, you don't know what you don't know. If you're profitable, great. Do you think I don't need this stuff? I'm telling you, you'd be 10 times more profitable knowing what's going on here, right? Because this is the stuff that drives these markets. By the way, look at the price change. I'll go into yes right now. Nothing's going on. And then look at this. Price change. Price change. That makes this noise too. Price change. Price change. So you guys see what I'm saying? Like, look at this thing is running the show now. You can scalp off this too. Again, it works until it doesn't work. So it's working. Sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy. You can be, working it here. And then the big money comes in and it goes like this and the price change and you see this thing red for like 10 minutes, right? So you just got to be cognizant of that, but it's incredible. So this is just the market pulse. You get part of this with the SI in here. So to follow my methods, you need Bookmap. Obviously, click on that. That's a discount to the Bookmap. This is the flip book I posted on YouTube. Then you need the add-on, this MBO bundle add-on, right? Pick monthly, and then you need a rhythmic feed or the Bookmap data feed. Bookmap data is cheaper right now, so go to that's on their main site, the bookmap.com site. The rhythmic is on this marketplace as well. But those are the things you need, right? But anyway, with the MBO bundle, you get the sub-chart, the on-chart, and you get the market pulse, right? This is incredible. Again, they built market pulse for me a couple years ago, 3 years ago now, I think, because I wanted a better version of this, right? I still use this, but there's no history to it. You can hear when it's going up, but I want to see history. So they built this for me. Then they just ran away with it and added all these other algos. And it's absolutely incredible. I haven't even touched the surface for some of this stuff. It's scratched the surface, whatever the term is, right? So like, look at these. Order book pressure imbalance. I'm seeing big things with this pace of tape imbalance. We'll talk about that next time. Volume pressure imbalance. So volume pressure imbalance was the first algo that they made. That's the closest thing to tick strike where it's showing you the most buying or selling. This is the only one that I change off of the default, right? I change it to an hour because default is 5 minutes. Training period is just the look back period that is judging the threshold breakage. If it's going above or below threshold for the last hour in this case. So that's telling me the most buying or selling in the last hour. The price change algo is all default. So it's right here, right? You just bring it up, hit play. So you go over here and you create it, hit play. Here, let's do it for one I don't have set up. But it's based on 5 minutes, right? So that's what you're seeing right here. It's nuts. And again, you can time your trades to it. You can trade off of it too. By the way, I'm still short this Gexy. I can't believe this is working. Because I kind of skirted the rules, and we talked about the hero too. I mean, that looked bullish, but I put on the trade like a good boy. All right, so I got out of half looking for the daily reaction. This Gex level did hold, right? All right, so I am long bark though on Nasdaq, so I'm probably about to get stopped out of that. But I'm going to take my Izzy short here. That moves out here, and I still got reversions off of this guy too, right? Depending. meaning I could take trades back to the zone here. But I'm not seeing anything X-wise. I do see these. So say this thing rips down to here and bounces off these spot gamma levels. I take the 2, the 1. I'm sorry, this is the 3. The 3, the 2, the 1 back to the zone. So keep an eye on that. I lost track of gold. Hold on. I miss this trade. I'm going to cry. No, it's not happened. But again, look at this price change algo. It's like every time it fires off. There's another one, little guy. So I'm gonna keep an eye. Actually, I'm gonna put an alert here. Well, it'll tell me. I'll put an alert here as well, just so I know it's heading up here, because I don't want to miss this long. I've missed some monster trades in gold lately, like monster trades. All right, something's going on here. All right, let's get to your other questions. You guys got questions? Base trading is some of the best info out there. Lots of guys keep this stuff hidden. Well, that's another thing too. I don't understand. Like I got some guy commented today on the Twitter post. He goes, "Where's he at? If this is so predictable and powerful, why are you telling everyone about it?" When I said, "Why wouldn't I?" Like, what? I mean, it doesn't matter what I say. It's happening. Why would I not want to let everyone know about it? That's my goal in my education anyway, guys. I've talked to you about it many times. Like, I like educating, one, because it keeps me halfway sane. I'm still losing my mind, but, you know, it keeps me grounded because I'm on public webinars and I can't make a complete asshole of myself, pardon my language. I got this right here. So I took off half. I had 5 on, I took off 2. The other reason is I love showing you guys how to fight back against the man, right? This is a zero-sum game. These algos, the big money, the hero games, they're all trying to take your money. Where do you think they're being funded? They're being funded from us, from the retail trader that's uninformed, right? All right, something's coming out here, as usual. So I'm not sure what this is. You're never going to really know until after the fact. I can't take a reversion here, though. So I'm just hoping this isn't a news story. So if it bounces off these spot gamma levels, I'm going to take the reversion. I'm going to flip right out of this and take a reversion, because I'm doing both on this heat map here. I'm taking the Gexies and the reversion trades. So the reversion trade I could put on 11. So I'll get out of these last 3 and I'll put on 11. This bounces off of this. This is a back in black. I'm using these spot gamma levels to do it. If it holds this right now and starts to come back, I'll put on the 1 ATR reversion. If it goes through here, then that's not, I could still take it off the Gex 1 though too, so we'll see what happens here. About to get stopped out. There you go, stopped out of the bark long, but I was able to trail my stops, so I was, you know, not that big of a loser. Now I'm short, and I guarantee I just filled into the, hold on here. Just filled right into the price change. Hold on here. My MO. Why am I not? Why am I short all these ES? What did I thought I had these working in. Oh no, yeah, this was red rum. So I'm short, oh yeah, okay, I forgot all about this, guys, sorry. Yeah, remember I have 3 different strategies short here in NES. And it just got filled to the tick on a price change. So the thing I just said not to put on full size. And I'm supposed to be short. Hold on here. Struggling. Hold on. We went over these earlier. I got sidetracked talking about everything else. Then I just filled. You see, this is a great example here, right? So the entry for that and stop out was right there to the tick. Here's your price change, and then it starts to bounce, right? So I actually did not get out. I must have. Oh, you know why? Because I moved it down to 82.50. That's right. I don't know why I didn't get full on those. I'm happy with it. So now what I'm going to do here, this is what I kind of wanted to do anyway. Not enter full size, and I'm supposed to be in half. So now let's see if this price changes back up. It should already been filled, right? And I'll get filled at a better price. If this comes back here, I'm going to put at least half on so I don't miss this trade. But I'm trying to time this with this price change game that they play. right? You're watching it real time here. The problem is I put on all full size on these ES trades right into the price change. Right there. I'm going to get out of half of these, and if it pops back, I'll put on the rest. So that was Red Rum, Izzy, and Pick, right? Damn it. All right. So I covered some of those. So this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? So I actually got out of half of those. Now I'm going to put on the other half on this pop-up, hopefully. And I have the reversion trade on now, too. So you see why I make mistakes? Because I'm doing about 85 things. Let's see here. I'll get out of that. I'm going to pop back to there. And then I'll put it. See how this is? Now I can put on the rest of these. Hopefully it'll get back up here. I might get out a little early as some of these on this price change. See how it's price changing right now? Come on, you can do it. You can do it. So that's a great example of the reversion trade. I'm trying to let it get up here, but it's price changing, so I'm out. So great example, right? That's the reversion trade. That's the scalp. And now I'm going to get in the rest of my shorts. So that worked out well so far, right? So what did I do there? I got out of my Gexy short because I'm doing both of these strategies on this one account, right? And I turned around and I played the back in black, the dealer reaction there. And this was a Gexel. I didn't even see that because I'm colorblind. But anyway, it bounced right off here, and I took the corresponding reversion out at the zone, right, with the price change. Then I did take shorts. I am short now, and I'm short full size.
Yes, short retested.
There's your official retest. I just jumped in front of it because the price changed. I'm fine with it. Anyway, get in half there just in case it keeps going, and then I waited for this move back up to put the other half on. So now if it comes and stops me out, great. To the second half, I at least got better prices waiting for this price change. I'll go to put on the rest, right? Again, it's riskier, and you got to micromanage the thing and watch it very closely, but you can get much better prices. So instead of 54.75, I just save myself 10 points on the other half. My stop's up here. 75.50, and the reversion trade worked, and I'm so happy. 75.50, because they almost all of them work. It's the most ridiculous trade out there that works. Most ridiculous thing besides the hero manipulation that I've ever seen. So I can guarantee you the hero is running them. Here you go. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Look at this. It trades like a market, but the point is you can see why the hell you're getting whipsawed to death. There you go. 3.5 billion to 1.5 billion. It just moved 2 billion. And then it went from 1.5 billion to 3.5 billion. Right there. It's guys, this is what I'm saying. If you don't have this and know about it, you just don't know what the hell's going on. You don't know why. That's why I laugh too, like these gurus, these educators on Twitter, they're like, price target hit 63.50 or whatever, like they're not even using this information. It's like, well, you basically got lucky that the hero moved in your favor that day, right? You got to know. Again, you're not going to know. The best way you're going to know is, first of all, at this time of day, by the way, this is exactly what I talked about. I lost track of the time. This is the exact game every single day at this time of day. It's insanity. Right there. Whatever way this is usually sloping, they turn around and rip it the other way. It's unbelievable. There you go. So another thing that I'm basically doing wrong here is I don't put on trades, my position trades. I'm not supposed to put anything on after 10 o'clock, between 10:15, 10:30 Central to 12:30. because this is what you're dealing with, right? It's just now it's all games, right? So that's when I just lost track of the time. I wouldn't even put these damn things on. But here you go. Here's the hero game once again. See what the trace looks like. See if they're gonna slam it into a Gex level. It's exasperating. I mean, especially when it's against you. Actually, I never got stopped out of those longs in NASDAQ either. Here. Look at this. I mean, it's just, guys, it just is the entire market. It's nuts. I watch it every day, and I still sit here in complete awe of what they're pulling off. Come on. Oh, there you go. Look at that. 2 billion, rips the NASDAQ 70 straight points. Hold on here. All right, so technically I'm not going to put on a position trade in here as well, but this is what I'm talking about not entering. Somehow I didn't get filled there. I'd be breaking something right now as usual, right? I had it at 82.50 for the stop out of my long and to get short. But that's a perfect example, trying to time it. So you could go short here now, much 80, 70 points higher. You're only risking it there now. I did get out of my long because I should have been stopped out. So I'm out of the long. I just don't want to even have position trades on right now because one, I'm going to lose my mind watching the games. But that's just a great example. So we just saw. I probably should have done this double size knowing the game. I forgot the time. But again, this back in black, I should have said, oh yeah, it's 10:15. Here we go. It's coming right back. But at least we caught the reversion there. So I am short now, full size, but this is, they keep pushing this thing. I'm done. So again, if you don't have all this, you don't have all the information. So anyway, back to this flip book quickly. Where did it go? I lost it. Because there's discounts in this. Right here. So you get the spot gamma, and Mentor Q. If you want Mentor Q, I'm doing this Cyber Trading Expo thing. I'll put the, you guys can register for that. There's a 25% off today for the next couple of days to Mentor Q. When I did that webinar is at, I think it's 3 o'clock Eastern. Anyway, spot gamma, use Scott for 50% off your first month to get that, and then that's this. And here I'll share this cyber webinar too. Hold on here. It's on my Twitter page too, guys. So if you need the, and by the way, I'm listening to this guy's book. It's very interesting. Trading Composure guy. He's got a lot of followers, so I like the book so far. What am I doing here? What am I doing? Here we go. So it's this right here. I don't know why they use this picture. Actually, it's not this right here. This picture is literally 10 years old, so. But we'll pretend I still look like that a little bit. All right, that's in the chat as well if you guys want to. So when you come in there, if you want Mentor Q, you'll get 25% off today. I think he's doing it through the end of the month. Instead of the 20% right now. So that I'm on there at I believe it's. I hope it's 3 o'clock Eastern. Yes. Well, no one's contacted me that it was earlier, so that's that. What are your other questions here? Ron, can you talk about how to use the market scalp and how to enter using it? So this, again, the best scalp that I know of in today's markets with these algos running the show is the reversion trade, right? And back to the flip book. Hold on here, struggling right here. So guys, these are the courses that I teach, right? Because when people are on the webinars, especially in the trade room, but on these webinars, they don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and so it's like this is why I made these things, so you can learn the stuff, and then when you watch me trade live, instead of saying it looks like you feel like you're drinking from a fire hose, you know what I'm doing. These are the 6 distinct setups, the core of my trading. Then the playbook, strategies playbook, are looking for these in my important areas. These go over my 16, 17, it's actually 18 now, important areas. I will be adding. That's another thing too. These are continuing education as well. That as I add new strategies for the rest of my life, you will get a notification and you will get the new strategy. You don't have to like buy some more stuff. So that's looking for these events in important areas. That's what the strategies are. And then this is the ATR reversion trade and the rules behind the trade. There's disqualifiers. So this, for instance, was a back of black this day off of these method Q levels in the S, 3 or the 2 and the 1, right back to the zone. So that's that. Here's the zone drawing tool. This will save you. This is like a godsend. You know, one from my room. There's a trader in my room who's been in there for 4 years. Figured out a way to draw this information on the sub chart. I mean, on the on chart. Pro and basic. The basic just gives you the ATR and the zone. The pro gives you the entries and the reversions and the position sizing and everything else. So that's the pro. So that's $79 a month. If you remember my trade room, you get 20% off of this. If you remember my trade room, you get discounts to all these courses as well based on your subscription length. Here's the trade room, right? Discord trade room. And if you join whatever, again, you get 10% off as a monthly, 15, 25% off as a yearly. And then this site's not functional. Well, this is what we talked about. The Bookmap and the add-on you need. Here's Apex we talked about. Use Pulcini 50 as your code for any sale they got going on there. Here's the method Q levels. This is not functional right now. The guy's working on it again because he was trying to kind of not blackmail me, but I paid the guy to build the site, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, I didn't mention it's $100 a month to maintain it. I'm like, well, then don't maintain it because that's ridiculous. But now I'm going to have him maintain it because there's other reasons. Anyway, here's a mentor queue. Again, if you get on that webinar today, before you buy it, you get 25% off yearly and monthly. I'll post that link later. Spot Gamma, we talked about that. And then here's Tick Strike, this basically. And then the Trader Sync. There's another thing too coming out, guys, and this thing is going to be unbelievable. Our own version. A guy in my trade room, he's a brainiac. He did his thesis at Oxford, and he's building this AI trading journal where it pulls everything in real time. You don't have to do anything. There's no CSV files. Members of my trade room will get this for free. It's going to be incredible. It should be out in the next month or so. We'll do webinars off of it. Here's your Ludwig levels. Join our 3-day trial on our 1972 website. You'll get those for free. Here's my YouTube channel. And then here's all contact info. This is all in the flip book, and here's the reviews. So that's that. All right, I'm still short here. Let's see if they're playing the game still. I might cover half of these just because I just don't want to have positions on into this time period. You're just rolling the dice. Not that they can't flip the hero the other way, but it's not worth it. It's not worth the mental energy, especially sitting here all the dead hours. Then if it does finally pick up in the afternoon, you're brain dead, or I am anyway. Let's keep an eye on this. Then I'll answer these other questions before I hop off here. Here's another price change, by the way. I'm just going to get out of a couple of these so I don't take the absolute bath on them. Again, I try my best, especially now that these accounts are all completely live backed by $200,000. I don't put trades on unless which I probably should be looking at this before I get out of some of these. Unless I get there's 150% or more relative volume, then I'll trade during these hours, because that means something bigger is going on and you're not going to get whipsawed to death, and you're not going to get screwed by the hero games as much because something bigger is going on, right? So let's take a look here. Let's see what this relative volume is. Yeah, I mean it's not terrible, but it's not great. So I still have the positions on, but I again see how this is normal. It's 100% is normal. In NASDAQ, it's pretty much normal on ES2. But it's just not worth trading at this time period. If this gets killed, I'm still short. I just covered half of them, and I got on half of them at a better price anyway, right? So another great example. Here we go. Price change, guys. You wait. Here's your entry. If it's price changing, again, I just put on half, and then I wait for the. You can wait for the corresponding pop back price change and put on the rest. That's exactly what I did, right? So let's see what Algo guy's doing. I could put on Bark and Lick here too. Again, I don't want to trade this time period, but this was one of the trades I put on. Remember Red Rum? Red Rum. This is bearish. You could put on Bark and Licks here too. I'm not putting on any more at this time of day. If this gets killed, I'm still short, but I'm just not. I've learned I still haven't learned my lesson. I've lost millions of dollars this time of day. Hey, look at that. I can't believe the hero is turning back over and the market's following it. That's something new. All right, quick questions here. Ron. So anyway, the main scalp is the reversion trade, and then you can use the price change to scalp too. I showed that. That's the market pulse price change algo. Marge, Renew, Scott, is this spot gamma and hero tool worth the price, and is it accurate? You heard people say it's not accurate. It's the most accurate thing you can use. This is real time, right? It's completely accurate. This is all I've been posting about, and it's the most powerful thing you can use besides the SI indicator stuff. And then you got the trace. This updates every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes. So you'll see, like the other day, a good example was, here, I think I screenshotted it. You guys, this is pretty incredible information too. Hold on here, let me find it for you. I just want to get to these other questions before I get off of this, but you got to see this too, just to show you how. What day was it? Tuesday maybe? Yeah, so look at this. So we were on the webinar and I pointed this out, and it's exactly what happened. So we were sitting there. It was like this, right? Nothing going on. Here's the market. Just had these little GEX levels, right? And it was kind of just sitting here, and this is resistance too. And then all of a sudden, this happened. All of a sudden, these negative gamma bars started to fill in. And I said, heads up. And then Hero started turning over. This is still the market, right? These filled in. Now it's heavy resistance here. And search and destroy right around the 10:15 time. Right to that stuff. Right. Is this it here? So this is before it. Now watch. It's unbelievable is what it is. And it happens every day. Still didn't get down there. Where I know I have a screenshot of it because I know I did it because I was short. And now we're getting tick extremes to the downside. I'm really glad I covered half of those shorts. Why can't I find the end of this? There you go. So there you go. Search and destroy. I can't remember if there was an event or not, but the point is, see, all that came off, and it headed right down. By that, I mean, as it moved lower, this came off. But remember, that stopped it up here. Remember, that was all filled in. Right to the gamma levels, and I think it stayed there and bounced up from there. Yes, so the answer, Marge, yes, that is incredible information, and it's not. What did you say? It is accurate. It's crazy. It's crazy accurate.
CP short validated.
All right, I'm still short this. I didn't put on the Nasdaq short. I got lucky I didn't get filled. Because I would have been Harry bitch this entire time. But another great example, if you were looking for the regular fill. It didn't fill me. I don't know how, but it didn't. But you could have taken half there and then put on half on the bounce. Price change. Granted, look, this price changed all the way up here. But the point is, it turned around. You can still put these Nasdaq shorts on. Again, I just learned my lesson. I've got some shorts on. If it dies, then I have it on, and I'm not completely pissed. But it's just this time of day, you're at the mercy of the hero. All right. Base trading is accurate enough for us retail traders? Absolutely. It's accurate for anybody because it's running the show. Can you explain how to use Bookmap for trading? Sporty mystery, are you kidding me? Is that a joke? That's all I've been showing. And that's what I do. That's what I do in my trade room, my courses. So come in my trade room or get my courses. And I do it for free every Thursday on Bookmap. Dan Hargrove, you're a member of my trade room. Hold on. Sorry, I'm skipping down here on accident. Marge, does spot gamma and hero tools work with stocks only? No, it's all the stocks too. I don't trade individual stocks, but yeah, it's very accurate. Go watch his webinar. He does webinars twice a week too. I know he does some public ones. Just Bookmap, spot gamma, YouTube. Said, I saw your video with Method Q a year ago, started implementing your strategies in conjunction with the levels and never looked back. Absolutely. The Method Q, guys, what I'm showing you is the most powerful thing I've ever seen. I've always said for 8 years the stop iceberg information, and it still is most powerful. This gamma levels for both spot gamma and Method Q and the hero are, you have to know this stuff, or you just don't. Good luck. Dan's answering some questions for me. Thank you, Dan. Nick, what financial news are you listening to, and is that the best source? It's, I'm using Financial Juice, and you get it as part of my trade room here, right? And you can click into the Squawk channel that I have on my Discord and get it, for free. And I put the hero up here too. So, if you can't afford the hero, it's your next bet. This is a poor man's way to use it. No offense, guys. Listen, like I said, I know trading is very expensive. But if you can't, at least I have this up most of the time. Of course, it hasn't been up all morning. I'm sure my room's really happy with that. But all right, so at least you can see it on this. So I got you can hear the squawk. I used to use Trade the News when I was at a trading firm, but it was just as crappy as far as, by the time you hear what's going on, what's great about this is you do get the commentary and you get everything that's coming out, right? So I use Financial Juice. There should be a discount on my website, my front page of my website. Most got some MRQ won't activate, works fine in NQ7. You don't want them on most of them because it's not going to work for micros. It's not, these thresholds are based on the regular product. You're not going to work. It's not going to work for micros. You get the zones for the main product, then you trade the micros. The zones will not work on the micro products. You got to use it. We should probably, I guess, specify that, but I thought that was known. March, hero chart line available, price move similar, how much time before the move happens? Well, again, this moves like a market, but a lot of times you get the flow alerts and it tells you the market's going to rip the other way. I talk all about it on these webinars, and so does Preference Spot Gamma. Just Google Spot Gamma YouTube. You can watch it. Any replays. Yes, guys. So go to my... So first of all, remember my room, you get replays for 5 years. But if you go to my YouTube channel, there's a bunch of replays in here of days, right? Well, this is ASFX, but go to that channel. Bookmap replays. I've done about 400 webinars for them, probably more, or mine. But you get access to 5 years of webinars in my room, and you get the data feeds for 5 years, so you can go back and practice. Not a game, practice with the Bookmap, run the days with the data. Based on, agree with everything apart from Apex. What's the problem with Apex based trading? Can I share that PDF? You're talking about this here? Guys, I wouldn't use Apex if it was bullshit, pardon my language. I've been paid from them, guys in my room's paid from them. I did have one instance they didn't pay me a few months ago. They said I was windfall trading and I never got an explanation, and then the next day I blew out the account on that ASFX webinar that I just showed you because I didn't realize, by the way, I missed this entry. So this is a good example too. Like, I'm not taking this trade now. Remember I said I was going to go long gold and I got sidetracked as usual. Well, I would have been out of some at this SKEX level. So if I would have been out of some, I don't put it when it comes back. So that's my own fault. I just cost myself 60 ticks there. But that's the way it goes sometimes. All right, that's it, guys. I do this every Thursday. I do it every day in my trade room. If you don't understand what's going on, get the courses. They will explain it to you, explain exactly what I'm doing. And I do this every day in my trade room, and Thursdays in here. Head on if you want to get on that Expo webinar. I already posted that. I'll post it one more time in here. That's at 3 o'clock Eastern. So for that PM trade. So if you can get on another one today. Here we go. I'll post this one more time. Register through there and you'll get some discounts there too. And actually, now that I think of it, I'm offering discounts to the trade room, my courses. I forgot all about that. You'll get 15% off basically from today till the end of the week, but you got to register for the webinar. If you're on the webinar, I'm going to post the links there. Forgot all about that, guys. So yeah, if you want the course or my room, you're going to get 15% off today. So head on over to that expo. All right, that's all I got. I will see you guys hopefully this afternoon. If not, I'll see you next Thursday or in my trade room. Thanks.